So we know each of our layers here now. We know that this is the lamp one, this is the lamp two, this is the lamp three. So you see, just like that, like that, like that. This is our flower vase. We already group each of our layers. That's each of the parts in the picture here that wants to animate. These are vectors layers. These are vector layers actually. So we've grouped each of them into different layers, and we already know their name. So from there, what else again do we have to see here? This is the current time indicator, which is we want to animate at 30 seconds. Okay, it's stopping at 35 seconds, so we'll be using roughly 35 seconds to animate. Though we might not exhaust everything, we might be using maybe less than 15 seconds what we might be using to animate. Then also here you can see we have the hand tool, we have the zoom tool, we have the rotation tool, we have the unified camera tool, we have the pan behind tool, the rectangle, the max, the text tool, the brush tool, the clone stamp, the razor tool, the roto brush tool, and the puppet position pin tool. We might not be making use of all of them, but we will see their functions as we go by. So let's start with the lamp. Okay, let's start with the lamp. We'll start by, let's start from, okay, they say ladies first. Uh, so let's start with animating the guy first. This guy here, let's animate him first. So let's use our zoom tool. This zoom tool here, or you press Z on your keyboard. Let's zoom on him. So I would prefer we should start animating from the head downwards. So next thing we use is the selection tool, that, or you press V on your keyboard. Then we locate where his head is. Check, you scroll down to locate where the head is. So you see it here. We've named it already, guy's head. So the first thing that we need to do is, if you look closely in this middle here, let me zoom on it well. If you look closely here in this middle here, you see something like a circle with 4 edges. Now that is our anchor point. Our anchor point is more like where, if you check your like the human being body, where your neck is meeting with your shoulder, where your hand is meeting with your shoulder, where your arm is meeting with your shoulder, just like that, where your leg is meeting with your thighs. So that's the way anchor point also is in After Effects. Anchor point is majorly like the joints, the major joints in the what they call it in the any and in any animation that you are doing. Anchor point is majorly like the joints in any character or anything whatsoever you might be using anchor point for. So it's majorly like the joints in that joint is where it is being controlled from. Let me just put it like that. So now you see it in practical here. So you go to the pan behind, so you just press Y on your keyboard. Now this can be a joint for a normal human being. This is not a joint. You can't have a joint here. That it means if your joint is here, it means your head has to bend from here like this. No, which is our joint is here. This is where our head can bend from. Your head can bend like this. Your head can't bend like this. Like your neck is standing still and your neck is bending. So your neck is actually the joint is actually here. Is in this place. So we will have to make that also visible in our character. Now we move the joints down here. This is where we want the joints to be. The connection between the head and the shoulder, that's where we want it to be. So now let me show you the repercussion when the joint is not correctly placed. So let me take it back to where it was before. Now just take a look at this. You see something? Do you see the way the head is being rotated? The way the head is can you see something? Do you see the way the head rotates? So which means the joint is wrongly placed. Let's say as we humans, let's say our joint is placed the way this guy's joint is placed now in the middle of his head. This is the way we should be moving our head. Anytime we bend our head, it means our heads have the tendency of dislocating from our shoulders, then have to return back to place when we straighten it up, but which is not visible. Now let's return it and now let's correct the anchor points. So we put the anchor points where it should be here in connection to between the head and the shoulder. So now let the guy rotate his head first. Let me see. Can you see? Did you see what happened? Now let's rotate it the other way. Did you see what happened? It's not dislocating. His head is not dislocating from his shoulder. It's balancedly placed. It's perfectly fit. Yes, that's right. It's perfectly fit. There's no improper dislocation anywhere. Now let's move forward. So let's be straightened first. Let me straighten it back. Now that being done, we have some other joints there also. Let's take a look at the other joints that we have. Please speak up 700. Okay, let me lock this. Okay, now we have some other joints. Now this is the guy's leg. We have to also correct the joints here because of the joints cannot be in the middle of the leg. So now we'll do this. Okay. So you see that we've named the layer. Now we have to correct these joints. We move the joints up here. This is where the joint is supposed to be. The edge, that's here. This is where the joint is supposed to be. So any movement that the guy's leg is going to make is going to come from this place. So now we have to correct the joint of every other part of this body. So I'll have to fast forward this place. I have to fast forward it because I have to correct the joints of each and every body part of all the characters here. So That's it. We are done with fixing, changing, correcting the anchor points. So the next thing we have to do now is we have to put in the animation itself. Yeah, we start with the guy's head. As I said earlier on, let's check for him here. Change the space. So this is the guy's head. Start with the guy's head. So because he's busy working in an office, yeah, it's so he's busy working in an office. So what kind of animation should be a simple animation of him just maybe thinking of his wife, maybe his wife, the food his wife is preparing at home or something like that. So the animation that should be here should just be a normal dabbing of it and yeah. Yeah, okay. What I should have done, I should have actually drawn a earpiece here, so it's majorly looks like as if he's listening to music while he's working, but there's no time to correct that now. So what we just do now is just let him shake his head around like as if he's thinking while he's working, he's enjoying just natural vibes here. So this is the guys, the animation that the little trick we have to do to that to bring out that feature is we'll click on this panel here. It brings out all the transform tools under it. Then what we have to do is rotation. Now this time something here. This time symbol that you are seeing here. You see the anchor point. You see the time symbol in front of it. This position, you see the time symbol in front of it. The scale, you see the same there. Rotation and opacity, you see the time symbols in front of them. The time symbol means time framing. It's for keyframing. Yeah. Keyframing, it says that whatsoever you think to do at this particular time, so you can it's just like a command. I want you to do this at this particular time, and I want you to stop at this particular time doing that thing. So it's just like, okay, start wiggling your head at this particular time and stop wiggling your head at this particular time. That's the major function, one of the major functions of keyframe. So we'll be making use of keyframes a lot in this tutorial. Now we have to give him the rotation keyframe. You click on it first, then you see this, you see it turns blue, and you see it brings up some more additional symbols here, which means this rotation symbol has been activated. Now you see also see something here. You see a diamond-like symbol here, which means there's a keyframe has been placed there. So which means a command is there. Literally, that's the name we or that's the naming of this. So it means a command has been placed here. So this command that is here now, it's when the rotation of his head is at 0.00 rotation. Now we want him to move his head like sideways and sideways. So what we have to do is we move. Let me increase the seconds. So these are the frame rates per second here. So let's move to the let's see. So let's see. Move to like 5 seconds here. Then the pen is head to the right here. Make it too much. So 15 is okay. Then go forward and then will bend it back to 0. Okay, now these seconds are too much. Now let me reduce this to 3. And I reduce this to 6. It's still too much to we'll change all that. Now this last keyframe is in 0. So now let's bend it to the left. Let's do it another 15. Let me put it on. Oh, sorry. So minus 15. Now let's see how it plays out. So did you see that? Did you see what happened here? Can you see this? It just wiggles his head sideways. So now let's increase the time frame here. Put this to 3 seconds. To 6 seconds. Now put this to 9 seconds. Okay, now let's see how it plays out now. Let's see how it plays out. So, okay, so that's so it's too slow, so we will now change the time now. It's too slow. We shift the keyframe closer to each other so as to speed it up. Okay. So I think it's better now. I think it's better now. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Let's return it back to 0. So this is what the simple animation just looks like. This is very simple. So this is what the simple animation just did now looks like. Okay, let's zoom out to see it clearly. And this is what it looks like. So it looks so unnatural because it's so slow to me. So we'll just fasten it up here. Change the speed. So this should fit it. So that's so as simple as that. You see that? Now let's move on to the girl here. So let's move on to the girl here. So once you animate her head, she should downward her head a little bit also. So we start from the beginning, that's from 0 seconds. We also use the rotation keyframe. So keyframe at the start, Then we move on a little bit. Let us also go ahead a little bit. So let's say 5. See minus 5 minus 6. Yeah, minus 6 is cool. Move forward to 0. She moves it forward to 6 again. Move forward to 0. She moves it forward again to minus 6. There it returns down to 0. Now let's see how this plays out. Okay. So now this is how it plays out. So just a slight wiggling of it, which is pretty okay by me. So we can copy this rotation and we add it to the guys. So now let's see it. Okay, so now it's the animation is good from there. Now let's move to the girl's leg. Let's move to her leg. So we begin with the first animation here. Now I want us to be doing this manually, that's from the main screen itself. So we'll be using this rotation tool here. We'll be using this rotation tool here, which is you can press W on your keyboard. So take her leg down, come forward. She takes her leg down, move forward, take it back up. Move forward, she brings it down. Forward, take it up. So now I'm repeating these keyframes because I don't want it to look confusing. Normally, if I'm to work with for a client, I won't be keyframing frame by frame like this. I will use mathematical expressions in After Effects. We have a lot of expressions I can use that will speed up my workflow, but I don't want it to get confusing for us when I'm typing in stuff and like that, so it doesn't get confusing and so clumsy for us. That's why I'm avoiding the use of expression. So normally I could have just come here, look for the expression I want to use, and it would have brought out expressions that I can use. I could have just loop it out, loop it in, and whatever, but that's not the topic for today, so we won't be doing that. We won't be needing that. So let's see what we have done. So now if you look closely, you will notice something. You will notice that when the animation was playing through, something was happening here. the leg was the shoe was not moving synonymous with the leg, which is not supposed to be for a normal human being. Am I right? So now, how can we correct that? Now, there's something we call parenting in animation. Parenting is no longer the what they call it, the joint again, but how does the joint affect the movements of the joint parts? Now, I'm moving my hand. How is it affect? I'm moving my arm. How is it affecting the movement of my hand? I'm moving my arm. How is it affecting the movement of my hand? Here is a joint, but this hand has been parented to this joint here. Let me explain very well. In the sense that as I'm moving this hand, if this hand was not parented to this arm, when I'm moving my arm, this arm is supposed to be like, when it's here like this and I move my arm up, this hand should actually remain here. It should not actually move with my arm. But because of it has been parented to my arm, so anywhere I move my arm to, my hand also follows synonymously. So that's what we are going to be using here now. So you see how that will affect this greatly. Now this our shoe is not parented to our leg, and any movement our leg makes, the shoe does not make. The shoe just stand still because of what? It has not been parented to the leg at all. Now let's locate the shoe itself. This is the girl's leg. Let's locate the shoe. Where is the shoe? Okay, so we've seen the shoe. You see it's girl's shoe. Girl's shoe. Now you see some boxes here. You see some boxes to be ticked there. Now we've made use of this box here. This is the visibility where to turn on the visibility and turn it off. Now this is, if you want to edit the shoe alone, that's when you click on this, but we're not using that. Now this is to lock. Like, I want to click on something, I don't want to click on the shoe, but we want to click on the shoe, so we're not making use of that. And this is to see the properties of the girl's shoe. Now this is for the rasterizing, and this is to shade layers and that. We're not making use of that here in this video. Now this is for 3D. We're also making use of 3D here, but I know many of you are interested in that. We're not also making use of 3D for this tutorial. Now, but this is what our main concern is. This is the parent whip. The parent whip will make us to be able to parent the girl's shoe with our leg. Use this. Where's the girl's leg? So this is the girl's leg. Where is her shoe? Okay, our shoe is actually way below, so let's still zoom up. So this is our shoe here. Now we have to drag this whip. We have to drag this whip down to this leg. This is our leg here. Now you see this line that is following it. Can you see that line? That line is now the parent whip. The parent whip is trying to parent the girl's shoe with her leg. Now let's leave. I'm going to leave the cursor and see what happens. Now you see that all others are with none, but the girl shoe is with leg one girl, that is already parented to her leg. Now let's play it and see what it looks like. Now can you see? Did you see that? You see that the shoe is now moving with the leg. So which means we've already parented the shoe and the leg. We've already parented the shoe to the leg. So we don't need to keyframe again to make the shoe go alongside with the leg. We don't need to do that. Now any movement the leg makes, the shoe also takes after. Now let's see how it goes. Did you see that? Now we can just make little adjustments on the shoe herself. but that doesn't affect that the fact that the leg, the shoe moves alongside with the leg. So let's move. What else? So okay, now let's parent the other body parts of the guy and the leg. So it animates synonymously. Now this is the guy's hand on the mouse while parenting it to his hand here. So this comes here, parent it here. So I'm going to fast forward the process so it doesn't bother us by the way. Now this is his leg. So that's that. We've been able to parent the major body parts that we need to animate in this video. Yeah, so now let's just put a little animation to this leg. So I think we'll be using nothing less than 10 seconds, so not 10 seconds to animate this whole shot. So here's the guy's leg. Let's give him just one rotation shot. So this here, moving forward, let's move the guy's leg forward. Let's see if we can do this. Then he comes back here and give me a 0. Then where's the second leg? Second leg takes it from here. Moves forward. Okay. When it hits the second leg, it goes a little bit. Okay. Now it comes back to 0 here. And it moves again. Okay, it's okay. Let it as it hits that guy. Let's see my project. So this guy is moving this time around. Okay, let's see the little animation that we've done there. Okay, so it looks a little pretty. Okay, that was fast there. So let's do this. Wants to look somewhat seamless. Okay, now we have to just copy the frames there, so it's have to repeat along. So now let's take a look at what name to do since. Okay, so that looks great. Now let's go back to the lady and see what she's been up to. Okay, I feel they are all okay. So it's roughly around 7 seconds already. Now let's go to the lamp and just do little wiggle animation on it. Now let's just hit the rotation. Go forward to the beginning. Do this. Okay, let's animate all of them at the same time. Then I move forward. Now let me do this individually for them. So just little wiggle animation we are doing on it. Then I move forward. This goes back. This guy comes back. This guy also comes back. Then I move forward. They return back to normal for a few seconds. It also returns back to normal for a few seconds. And I'm using the rotation tool, which is W. I'm using the rotation tool, and this guy also returns back to normal. I hope you're following. So let's just repeat that few more times. Let's just repeat that few more times. Then, so this guy moves forward. This guy goes sideways, and this guy comes forward. I will do that again. This guy comes here. Now they come back to normal. So now let's check how the animation will play out. Okay. Okay. So that's just the rough 7 seconds videos that we have been able to animate. Now let's put in a little movement on the video, so the video doesn't look just still like that. Now there are many things we use for camera here in animation, but one of the few things that many beginners make use of is the null objects. You can use null objects for various things. But in this content, we want to use null objects to signify the camera here. So click on null objects. You see this red mark to appearing here. You see it. Now we also change the anchor points. You see that there is a sharp point here. We don't want it to be at the edge. We want it to be in the center this time around. We want it to be in the center. Now, after making the anchor points, what is the next thing? What are we going to do next? Because we want to make use of the anchor, the null object as the camera. We save it as, let's just save it as the camera. Let's save it as camera. So the thing you have to do next is click on this down to this, and you click right click, you press pre-compose, and then I write all DLES 2021, and I click OK. So do you see that it's all in one folder now? Oh, I made a mistake. I didn't select my table and laptop. Let me go back to select it. So yeah, select from my lamp one down to background. Then I press click and I press pre-comp. Then I use DLES 2021 and I press OK. Now I see that everything is in one folder. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to parent this whole folder to my camera. Now any movement, any change I make to this proposed camera here, it affects the whole file. For example, let me move it, you see what happens. You see, did you see that? Now, not only that, if I do this now, see what will happen again. Do you see? It's also, any change I make to this, it also apply to the whole file. So that's why you have to be careful with changes you make to that. But that's this by the way. Now, because of our making use of it as a camera, let me reduce this. So before I was able to redo that, reduce it, I have to remove this. I have to change this. Because initially it was parented to camera, and you see camera here. You see camera in the DLES file. So I have to change it to none. It should parent to none because I want to reduce this square here. So this like this. Now, then I click on, then I parent it back. I parent it back to the camera. That's it. So the next thing is we want a little camera movements in the video. So you click on the camera. Then I'll bring out all the transform tools here. So these are all the transform tools: your anchor point, your position, your scale, your rotation, and your opacity. Scale will determine the price. The scale will determine the size. Rotation will determine how depending on what have you. Then opacity determines the transparency. So here is we are making more use of the position in this context here. So remember, you put the first keyframe, then you move forward. Okay, let's see here. So let there be a slight camera movement here. So this guy will move like this. Sorry for that. This guy will move like this. So I want the movement to be so much. Then here it should be moving back. The camera should be moving back here. So now let's see how it plays out. Now. Okay. So do you see that slight camera movement? So let's get it more interesting. A little bit. Then let's move and we say it's just this here. I'm trying to edit it as manual as possible. I don't want to bring in any coding of no sorts. So we will do this, move it up slightly. Then we come for the move it down slightly. Then it moves back. And it moves back. Yes, so this is what our animation now look like. Let's look at our animation now. So this is what our animation will play out as. Cool. Now let's make a little zoom in and zoom out on it also. So we have this shaky kind of camera here. Then let's do the little zoom in and zoom out. So you click on your scale here from the starting point. Then you move forward a little bit. You move forward to where you want the keyframe to start from. So I want it to be around here. There should be a little zoom from here. And let's put it in. Let's put it here. Let's put it somewhere around here. So I have the keyframe here. I move forward. Then it does this. Make it manual. It's too much. That's too much. Let me do it from here. So I change that to 62. And I move forward and I come down. And boom. Yeah, it comes back to normal. Yeah, so now let's see how it's turned out to be. Let's see how it turned out to be. So do you see that just with those few strings we were able to pull, we were able to make out a cool animation out of this. Now you can now put in your music, to play there, anything whatsoever. Though we are not animating the mouth or the eyes expression in this video, so that will be in later videos to come. So now the next thing we have to do is we have to export the video. We export the video as so that because of this, the way it here it is, people can watch it here. You have to export it as a video file for people to be able to watch. Because if you are working for high-end clients, you see how to also export out for an high-end client. So now you come here. What you have to do is press Ctrl M. Okay, first of all, let me look for a music that we can just add. I don't know if I have any music. Okay, so our music, let's get it now. Get it, the music here. Yeah, this is our music. This is so it's recording already. So yeah, because of it's in video format, there's no information to convert it or stuff like that. Now let's play it on through. Put it to where the music is loud. It's just a random music I got. I didn't actually get the music that will actually fit in it well because I don't have music on my device well like that. So just to see the way the music moves with it. So now the final thing that we'll be doing here is we have to export this as a video. We have to export this as a video. But before I do that, I always want my work inflow to be neat. So I used to do one thing. I'll trim I'll trim the part of my working flow down to what I use. Let me unlock this guy here. And I trim the part of my working flow down to what I use. Let's say roughly 12 seconds. Yeah, let me see where it's still. Okay, so it's not even up to 10 seconds. So that's okay by me. Then this guy here, let's see what we can do about it. Many seconds is it? I literally don't know how many minutes this music is. Okay, so this music is around 25 seconds. It's around 2 minutes. It's around 2 minutes. I mean. So, in order for me to see the span of the music, I'll change my duration to 2 minutes. Okay. I scroll down to see it, and I can easily trim it from here. Thank you. So that's that. So now I can revert it back to my normal 35 seconds. I've achieved what I want. So now it's back to my 35 seconds. So then the next thing is, let me see, what is what I actually want to give me. Very good. So now that we've added the music, let's change our composition to only fit what we made. So now change the composition back to 15 seconds instead of 35 seconds here. 15 seconds. Then we click on OK. So now you see that it looks longer and the space here looks shorter. Now the next thing is we have to export our file so it becomes the cartoon we want. So you click on Ctrl M to export. Ctrl M to export. So click on Ctrl M to export. So it's loading up. Now it asks where do I want it to be put, my render setting, output module. I usually advise people not to change it. Depends on what your client wants. Though it depends on what your client wants. But normally, if you are to edit a work standard like a standard, what do you call it? If you are to edit a standard project, this After Effects default settings usually go well for standard project, but now it might differ sometimes. Maybe a construction project can you are creating for a construction project, so it can differ sometimes. For instance, maybe you want to edit for what they call it, you want to create for a big board, and the settings that you use to render should be much more higher for a maybe big billboard. So it differs. The big billboard should have, the setting for the big billboard should actually differ from the setting of a plasma TV. So it's now left to you to check what will suit you in all the settings there. So now let's see where to render. Okay, we are rendering in our desktop, and as an AVI is an high quality here. So you click on save. Let me change the name. Let's see, DLES 2021, and I press save. Then you can change it if you wish. Then I click on render and it renders. So you wait for it to render. It's showing the estimated time for it to render, and it begins the rendering here. So can you see? So now you see it's rendered all the 15 seconds on together. Let's say we didn't shorten it down to that 15 seconds, it will be rendering all the 35 seconds all together. But now we've shortened it down to that 15 seconds and it rendered the whole 15 seconds. So next time you can shorten it to exact seconds to render it, but some of the times it's not always preferable like that. So now it's done with the rendering. Let's see the results. So I will save it on the desktop. So we have to go to the desktop to view it. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Okay, so this is it here. It's rendered at its highest quality, at an high quality. Let's open the VLC. Okay, so you see the way the animation is playing now. Yeah. So let's play it again. Okay. Okay, so it's barely 7 seconds. It's not to 9 seconds. Yeah. Okay, so it's 7 seconds altogether. So can you just see the way the thing played? Now this blank space here is the remaining seconds where we didn't animate anything and didn't put anything. You know, we cut it. So that's why there's nothing showing here, which should not have been like that. Now let's just play once more, then we'll call it a day here. So thank you for joining, and that's all on that's how to animate a character. So join us next week, same time, same day for okay, so that's all on how to animate a character. So we'll be making some other animations for you to see. Okay, so that's all for how to animate a character, which we just quickly did. So it's an introductory class, it's a basic class. You need to seek much more expertise before you can call yourself an animator too. But this is class just to make you understand some of the things that are inside animation and graphics. So thanks for watching. Hey guys, I trust you're enjoying the video, and I hope we have been able to benefit one or two things from the video. I know it might look confusing or somehow, but trust me, this practice things get perfect. And Rome was not built in a day, as the popular adage usually quote. The flyer is there. If you have any question, the comment section is open. Then the flyer is also there. There are phone numbers on the flyer, there are emails on the flyer, there are social media accounts on the flyer. You can contact any of the phone numbers there. The owner of the phone numbers will give you an instant reply. You can write mail to the emails on the flyer. Your question will be attended to. Then you can also message any of the social media account on the flyer. Your question will also be attended to. So I hope we can also help each other to go along the way. So feel free to ask your question. There's no problem. Feel free to ask your question, and trust me, your question will be well attended to. Practice the same is to make perfect, and Rome again was not built in a day. So during the week, during this weekend, I was watching a random YouTube video, and an advertisement popped up. That it was an OP advertisement. It's popped up, and I'll play the video for you to see. But because of this is a public video, I have to take permission from OP before I can make use of their video. So I'm going to play the video now for you to see. Now, here's the video. Watch the video.
Called to it. He's been dispossessed by Venatti though, and how about that from Neymar? Brilliant. Quite incredible from the Brazilian. From Neymar.
Hello, who is this? Hello, Mr. Johnny. My name is David. I'm calling you from OPE. Okay. Anything the matter?
I'm calling to inform you that you have been chosen as one of our golden agents and you have an amazing bonus to unlock.
Golden agents? What bonus are you talking about?
As an active agent that has been performing well on OPay, we have decided to reward you with a bonus using the OTP code we will be sending to you shortly once you approve.
You are a fraudster. I know OPay too well. OPay will never request for my OTP to unlock any bonus nor resolve any issue. Get a life, man. I'm too smart to be scammed.
So I was thinking,
OPay will never request for your OTP to resolve any issue.
actually partly work on.
Thank you.
This video, you can try to make the video. You can try to make the video again for educational purpose. To remake the video for educational purpose. That's just to enlighten us on the tutorial. That's what I just got. So I reached out to them. I told them that I would want to make use of your video on YouTube for this sole purpose. So now I would no problem, just join me on the work process, the way the whole stuff is going to go. So watch this while I set up my screen. Normally what we do is we open Illustrator. Alright, so let's open Illustrator. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the file as a video. That's the video as a file. I'm going to open it. So here, I put it here. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the video. I'll open it with VLC so that I can screenshot it, because I want to redraw the character. So this opening shot is what I want. So I'll pause it here and I come to video, take snapshots. So it's snapped it already. So that's the first process. So the next thing is I open Illustrator. Then after I open Illustrator, this is the blank page. The next thing I have to do is I have to import that image that we just screenshot. This is the image here, so let me import it into my Illustrator. So I'll put it here in my Illustrator. Mind you, this is an image now. It is not drawn separately. It's a full image. We can't separate this into layers. You can't click it. If you try to click it, it moves. So what will happen here is we have to draw in them individually in different layers. So we have to sketch out this character first, then draw the whole background and whole scenario out. So because of the time frame for everything, because of initially it's not what I planned on doing today. I have what we want to do today, but because of the time framing and everything, we will actually be doing few frames, probably the intro frame alone. That's all my edit. Or if I see that there's still more time, or I'll take more shots from the video and we'll also animate it. But trust me, watch this space. That's this YouTube channel. The complete video will be dropped very soon. I will animate everything. I will remake the video again, and the process will be dropped on this YouTube channel. So tag along, subscribe, and like the video, share it to your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend. Also watch this space for more tutorial videos. So after I drop the video here, now it's time for us to draw each layer separately. So I have to plug him out, activate my graphics board. So full screen. It's cool for me. So that was just my pen asking me if I want to throw any changes. So now the next thing we have to do is go to your pen tool. So I put my board here comfortably. Okay, so it's in the opposite direction. Okay, so that's it for me. Now the next thing we have to do is I click on my pen tool. When I click on my pen tool, I will zoom in on this guy here. Let me click. I will zoom in here. So I'll zoom in on this guy's face now to start drawing here. So I'll fast forward the whole process so you don't get bored by the process. Okay, so that's it. We've been able to draw out the man. Okay, let me quickly make few edits on the drawing. So we're almost getting done with the sketch of this scene. So you see how it's turning out to be. Okay, let's move on. So I'll continue to fast forward it till we are done totally finally. So now let's proceed to the arrangement and coloring of some of the files. in order not to waste our time or take our time so far, I felt the curtains, the window, and maybe the cabinets, will be ignoring most of them because of they are not really making major movements in the video. But because let's just put a window there so as to have also the views of how the window looks like there. Then we will also put the lamp. So if you remember very well in the file we just used finished in the former video, we make use of it, that's the boy and girl that we just admitted. We made use of the window and the lamp. So we'll be going back into that video now. We'll be going back to that file now to bring out the window and the lamp. So let's go. So you come to file here. You go to open recent boy and girl in your office. So let's take their window and their lamp. So this lamp, take something lamp. Take background. Okay, I take the two windows and I take two lamps. Two lamps. I don't want to be too greedy. I'll take only two lamps. Then what else can I take from here? I think it needs a. Okay, I think I have a cup of coffee here already. No, there is no space for a cup of coffee. What else do I need? So I will here. Okay, so nothing much. I don't need anything other than two lamps and two windows. So now let's go. I click on Ctrl C to copy and I come back to my file and I paste. So now you see it's not the same resolution. This animation here is not the same resolution with the former. So then the next I have to do is I'll separate them, put them in separate layers. Let me zoom this out. So I think one window will be enough for us. There it is. Then let's make use of this. Now we have a blue sky outside, so it won't be good if we are making use of a white sky. In thorough white sky, it will look so fake and blurry. So let's get back that blue background. So let's bring the video down here. Say I'll make use of their blue color, or I think I'll stick with my setting for the sky. So all I have to do is I have to just set some prefix to that. Copy this. So I think our video is done. So nice. Okay. Okay, so we are done with arranging everything into layers. So the next thing we have to do now is to go into After Effects for the animation. So now, the normal way we used to do it, we open up After Effects, where you go to Composition, New Composition, we name this as Main Composition. Then we use a frame of 1920 by 1080. Though this we shall still come and by 1080, we will still come to edit this at the long run. So now let's bring in this illustration. Let's bring it into After Effects. Now this is it on the desktop. All you have to do is drag and drop it as results. So you leave it as composition, you leave it as layer size, you don't change it to document size, you don't change it to footage, you leave it as composition. Then you click on OK, then it loads up. Let's save our documents. Let's see DLES OP remake. So we are not making the whole scene. Don't get me wrong now. Because of our time, we are not making the whole scene. We are just making the first scene. Let me play what the first scene looks like. And if we see that there's still much time for us to edit, to animate, we will make the remaining scenes before we leave here today. So this is what the first scene looks like. This intro. So, and the way it zooms in on him, that's what we want to be animating for today. So it's around 5 seconds. It's around 5 seconds. It zooms in on him. So it's around 5 seconds. Let's go into After Effects to start animating. So here is our illustrated comp. Here's our illustrated comp. So here we can adjust everything where we limit it. First, I would like to. This is our main comp here. I will bring in this OP comp into our main comp. Now, what I'm going to be doing in our main comp here is, or rather, should I just from let's say, okay. Let me see the introduction scene again. Okay, it's still 1080 like 1020. So okay, in that sense, this is what we'll be doing. So we will not be making use of this main comp for now. Or we'll be making use of this OP comp itself. So here we'll bring in our camera like the way we did that time. For the former animation, go to right click, go to new, go to null objects. Then we'll be making use of 2 cameras in this video. So we'll see along the line. We'll see how it goes along the line. So let's name this camera 1 or camera movements. Camera movements. Or should we just say movement camera? Movement camera. Then this is it here. The next thing we have to do is let's scroll down to the background here. So this background will be very important, to be very helpful here in this scenario. So this is what we want to be doing now. I'm going to increase the background. Yes, this is what we will do there. That's what we have done. Then let's look for the table. So the camera will have a wide span. So where from its starting point to its ending point. Now let's look for the table. No, not that table. Let's check. Oh, now this is a big mistake. Now this is a big mistake. It's going to be affecting the whole. Actually, we just wanted this out here. Okay, let's see Illustrator. Let's see this web. No, it's not update Illustrator. It's not the latest version of Illustrator. Where is it? Let me show you. So I have to release this to a layer. I have to release this to a layer. Then I move this out. By me moving this out, I name this table. Table long table. Hope it updates. If it doesn't, we have to copy it out. Yes, so it updates. Okay, so let's check for the table now. Where did it jump to? Let's refresh the so our table is disappeared. So let's go into your shooter again. Let's save this thing now. Let's save it to appear in After Effects. So it's refusing to update. I don't know why. But in that state, since we've not done much, all we have to do is just cancel this. Cancel this, then we delete OK from here. So now we import OK back. Also import it as new again, afresh. So we drop it again. Then click on composition layers as OK. Then come into OK. We are adding the new camera again. Objects. So this will tag as movement camera. Movement camera. Then next thing we have to do is we have to animate this. The next thing we have to do is we come to this background here, then we increase it. Increase the background, then the long table, we adjust it here. We adjust the long table. Okay, so I think that's okay now. So next thing we have to do is let's animate the movements of the camera. So we change the anchor point of the camera to the middle. Then let's put this here. Put that there. Then the next thing is what we have to do now is we have to parent. We have to pre-comb and parent the pre-comb. The pre-comb. It might get confusing for me. So instead of me doing like this, what I'll just do is just tag along. I know I've confused you a little bit already. There's no problem. Let's take it back from the main comb. Bring in OP down to the main comb here. So then the next thing we have to do is we reduce the composition settings here. Let's reduce this to around 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, okay. So it's short enough. Then the next thing we have to do is come into OK here. So we delete this movement camera. We don't necessarily need the movement camera here. We go to the main comp. We put in a main camera here. Put in a main camera here. So we adjust this main camera to this edge. We name it as main movement camera. Movement camera. Because of there was a camera. There was a camera moving at the beginning of the video, if you remember the video. So yeah. Now the next thing we have to do is we parent this to the camera. So after we've done that, you will have to move from this angle to this angle. So the first thing is let's keyframe the position for this camera here. So we don't want it to start from here. We want it to start from somewhere like here. Yeah, yes, this is where we want it to start from. We want it to start from this edge. So we release the frame. And we already altered some things here. I think we have to restore them back. Because of we are no longer making use of our camera here. Then this also, the long tail, we have to bring out in back. Even though she will not be appearing in here. So the next thing we have to do is, now the position is set to this place. So we move forward like around 3 seconds, 4 seconds. The camera moves. Okay. So now let's play to see what we just admitted. Okay, so there was a simple camera movement into the scene. Then let's make it move a little more. Let's make the camera move a little more. Okay, I think I'm comfortable with this. Let's see how it plays out. Okay, so that's very fast and sharp. So let's move this to like 6 seconds. Okay, now let's bring in the second camera. The second camera will be to zoom in. There's no objects. Let's press enter, then enter zoom in camera. Now we are going to parent this movement camera to the zoom in camera. Wait, before we parent it, let's make some adjustments. Let's make some adjustments to this camera. Let's change the anchor points to the middle. Yes, then let's move it right here. I think I'm okay with this. Now let's parent the movement camera to the zoom in camera. Let's parent the movement camera to the zoom in camera. So now at this point where it zooms here, stop a while, move. So we'll be zooming in on our main character at this point. So now let's zoom in. Let's keyframe our scale. Let's keyframe our scale. Then here that it moves. So we go up. We go up. We go up. Yeah, we zoom in closely to our main character. Now let's see how this plays out. So here, okay, I think that played out nice enough. So we are already using around 7 seconds. So yeah, we play this. Okay, now let's dabble into animating the scene which our character is on. So this is let's see where the movement starts, where the movement reveals the character, and then it zooms in on the character. So we are editing from 5 seconds. Let's start with his head. Let's start with the head of our character. Or rather, let's start with the eyes. Let's animate the eyes first instead. So I think we'll get with that quickly. So this. So we have for the right eyes, we have the position. For the left eye, we have the position. We don't need to keyframe this. Then this, we have the position, no, the rotation. Then this also we have the rotation. Now this, let's change the anchor point of the eyebrows. Let's move this down here. This is good. Oh no. Let's move this point. Now the anchor point for this also, let's move it to the bottom here. So that will be the bending point of that body part. Now let's start with animating the eyes. We keyframe the position, the rotation, we keyframe all of them. F9, move them backwards a little bit. Then we start with the right eyes. So we will be making simple expression of eyes here. So this guy's eyes move forward, upward. Then these eyes will have to follow suit. And this eye will have to do this little rotation. And this also we have to do this little rotation. Then let's move forward a little bit. So around 6 seconds. I think that's when his phone rang. Let's check what it's showing in main comp. Okay, so around 7 seconds, that's when his phone rang. So he's going to be looking down. Going to be looking down here. Then we'll bring this down. I think his phone was in this side of this video. Then we'll bring this down also. So he wants to look at his phone. Now, who is calling in the middle of a match? Like, seriously, Lionel Messi is playing for PSG and somebody is calling. Who does that? So here's what our animation looks like. Good. I think I like the expression in his eyes. So let's go back into our animation panel. So you see that movement in the eyes. Meanwhile, his eyes cannot just be static before that time. So let's give him few shots in the eyes. So let's see how our animation plays out. Okay, so at this point where his eyes is, now we would have to make just little change there now. So at exactly 8 seconds, his eyes should go back to normal. Exactly 8 seconds, his eyes should go back to the middle. His eyelids should return back to base. So now let's look at his head. So the next thing we want, oh, I forgot to draw his mouth. Oh, I'm very sorry, I forgot to draw his mouth. But nevertheless, that will be a topic for another day. So now the next thing we want to be animating is the head, the movement of the head. So let's come here. Let's see the head starts shaking from where. Because I was actually watching ball. So let's say is dumping to music, is zooming, dumping to music is listening to. So this is it. Aside that, let's parent these layers. We are parenting the right eye to the eye right. We are parenting the left eye to the eye left. Then the eyebrows, we parent the left eyebrow to the eye left and the right eyebrow to the eye right. Now that's been done, we will move down to this is the head. Now we have to parent the eye left and the eye right. We parent both of them to the head. Parent both of them to the head. So any movement the head is making, the eye is also making alongside. Now let's animate the head. So you remember what I said, the anchor point of the head should be on the neck. It's a connection, it's the joint. It should not be in the middle, it should not be the center of the head. If not, it's more like saying the head should dislocate out during movements. So here we keyframe this position. Then we move forward a few seconds. Then the head wiggles a little bit. It's the rotation we actually have to position to keyframe. Keyframe the rotation. And not move, the head is not moving to anywhere, so we are not keyframing the position. So keyframe the rotation. Then we move forward a while, let's say 3 seconds. Then the head with a little. We move forward to like 4 seconds and his head sways back to the right. Move forward 5 seconds, then sways to normal. Then 7 seconds, his angry, his head sways down. I'm sorry I forgot to actually paint the mouth out. So let's see what our animation here looks like. So his head cannot remain hanging like that. You have to return his head back to position. But we have a deco. So here we return his head back to position. So now let's see how our animation plays out. Okay, he's calling my phone, then his head comes back to normal. So I feel this, I feel we understood, if not all, but some people understands already the process which we follow suit to achieve this. And I hope we all learned something, even if it's one thing out of the whole process. So we'll be moving forward. Let's just put few animation into this, then we'll call it a day for this animation. So the anchor points for the lamp should be at the bottom. Then the anchor points for this also should be at the bottom. Then the same animation we did for that boy and the girl, will do for this also. So lamp 2 and lamp 1, you click on R on the keyboard to bring out your rotation keyframe. So you use them with the F9 key. You move forward. So you come to lamp 1, tell this guy to shake a bit. Then you tell this other guy also to shake a bit. Then you move forward a while. Then you tell this guy to shake a bit. Then this guy also shakes a bit. So all we have to do is just copy these keyframes, copy them, move forward, we paste them. So we copied the keyframes and we paste it here. Copy the keyframes and we paste it here. Copy this keyframe, move forward, then we paste it here. Copy this keyframe, then you paste it alongside also. So now let's see what our animation is going to play out like. Now let's zoom out here. Let's zoom out now. I think we are done. We are done. Then this camera, we have a movement, make a movement here. Then after this camera, we also have to make a zoom out. Let's zoom out. So now let's see how this plays out. Let's see how the whole animation plays out. Then we call it a render. Let me save the work. Okay, let's play once more. So this time to be faster. Now that camera made a very fast move. The movement was too fast. So which camera made this move? So it's zoomed out. So okay, this guy made the movement. Okay, so I think we can call this a render now. So there should actually be a focus on the main character here. There should actually be a focus on the main character here. Okay, so I repeat this keyframe also. Now, after this playback, we will call it a render. Yeah, so I like it the way it's played out now. So let's play it for the last time. They will call it a render. This time to be faster. Yeah. Zoom in on the guy, looks at his phone, then it zooms back out. Now that's that on that. So the next thing we have to do is we cut this short. So let's make these lamps return back to their normal position, as it will be good when the video stops. They remain dangling like that. So the rotation should be 0, and this rotation should be 0. So they return back to their normal position. So this is the main comp. So yeah, they are back in their normal position. So now the next thing we have to do is we have to reduce our radar comp. So let's reduce this to 12 seconds. Let's say 11 seconds. Composition setting. We only made use of 11 seconds here. We click OK, so it shortens everything automatically. Now before we render, and let's export our video like that. So because I want the video to be in HD, I want the quality to be HD quality. So I rasterize the whole layer, then come here, I rasterize the pre-comp. So it's in HD now. So that's final. Then the next thing we have to do now is render. So to render, we press Ctrl M to render again. Ctrl M to render. So then you click output to this not yet specified. You click on it. So it brings out where we want to save it. Then we save it as, let's save it on the desktop. Save it as OPace. So save it as OPace DLES 2021. So you click on save. Now the next thing you have to do is you leave all these settings is already in a high quality setting. Then you click on render. So you wait for it to render the scene notes. Okay, so our video just finished rendering. Our video just finished rendering, so now let's play out our. So here is the video, 11 seconds high quality video, 0.98p. So you don't click on it to open up. Oh, and it's spinning me that we didn't put the mouse though. So it zooms in on him. So that's it for the remake of Opay video. Now it's just for the first thing we made. Now to the video of today. So I planned on editing a scene, just a quick scene. That was what I planned for today before. Let me come here. Okay, now to the video of today. So I have arranged a quick sketch. So yeah, the next video background. Okay, so to the video of today, during the week I also prepared a sketch that we are going to animate today before I stumbled on the whole page video. So now this is the sketch here. This is what the sketch is looking like. This is an house, then a bird flying, and a car passing. So quickly, I've already separated all the layers. You can see this is the body, the wheel, the back wheel, the front wheel, the bird. I've separated the wing, the body, and the tail. Then I've also separated the house layer. Now quickly, what we have to do now is we have to jump into After Effects. We have to jump into After Effects to animate this. So because of we are running short of time, so what I just have to do now is open new project, save, new composition. So we maintain our default, which is 1920 by 1080. So we are using, let's say we just make use of 15 seconds. We're animating for a 15 seconds video. So I click on OK, my caps lock is on. Now this is it. The next thing we have to do is we have to import our files here. So this are our files. Okay, so I import them, I drag them into After Effects for editing. Now let me bring them in one after the other, so the work doesn't get clumsy. So I drag my background first, then it asks me, I click composition, then the second one, the bird, I drag in the bird second, then the last one, which is the car, I drag it in. Now don't get me wrong, you can drag in multiple layers at once, but I don't want it to get clumsy for you guys. I don't want it to get clumsy for you because of when I'm animating, when I'm trying to convert them to composition, it might now start getting confusing. So I don't want to dabble into that aspect at all. That's why I want us to drag it in one after the other. So I click on OK. Now we have our 3 layers here. Then the first thing I have to do is I drag in my background layer into my main comp. So this is my background layer. This is my background comp. Then I drag in, okay, I open up the background so I can be able to animate it. Okay, so this is cloud. This is my cloud. Okay, let me quickly name it here. So cloud 2. Then this cloud 3, and this cloud 4. Finally this cloud 5. So then we also have the sun and that. Now let's bring in our bed here. Bring in our bed composition here. Then we also let the bed be on top of the sun here. Then we also bring in our car layer under the bed here. So now we have to set everything to rhyme. Now this is the bed pump. We have to reduce this because of a bed shouldn't be as big as this. We have to reduce the whole composition. We have to reduce it in size, and you know where the bed stays in the cloud. Now we are coming to this. Now let's also adjust the car. The car shouldn't be a floating car. We are not editing for a superhero movie. So let the car be at this edge for now. This car be at this edge. Now the car is too big for me, it's too big. We'll reduce the car a little bit. Then here, place the car here. So now we have to animate them individually. We have to animate them individually. But before we start animating the car and the bed, let's start with animating the clouds. Then we animate the sun. Then we start animating the car and the bird. Now first of all, we start with the cloud 1. We animate the position keyframe. We keyframe the position at the first, that's at 0 seconds. Then we move down to 10 seconds probably. So let me zoom in on it so I'll see what I'm doing clearly. So most especially I'm animating this first, so zoom in on this. So now okay, so since I've keyframed at the first run, now let me go to the 15th second, then I'll move this. We'll do that manually so you see what I'm talking about. So you can see clearly. I click on V. I move this. Mind you, I'm holding my shift key down so that it can be straight. Now let's zoom out and see what I just quickly did there. Now did you see the cloud moving? Can you see that cloud moving? So now we have to repeat it for each and every cloud layer. Let's just copy. Don't let's copy. So let's just come to cloud 2, position, keyframe this. Let's align it down to cloud 5, position, keyframe this, keyframe all of them. Is use them with key F9. Move them forward. Move the bar indicator forward. Sorry. then move them forward. So they move forward till the end of the video. Now, if you remember vividly well, I was saying something in the first animation video that we made. I said I don't want to make use of expressions, I don't want to make use of formulas, kind of, in so that it doesn't make it so confusing for us. But now it's kind of inevitable, as in this video, as I might need to be making use of some expression or formulas in this video. Now let's look at the sun layer. What I will do so that the work will be easy is I will have to pre-compose this layer. I have to pre-compose it. Yes, move all attribution. Then I click on okay, let me rename it to sun layer. This is our sun layer. Then I click OK. So we have our bed pre-comp, we have our car pre-comp, and we have our sun pre-comp. Now let's start editing our sun here. So let's zoom in on our sun to see it clearly. Then you click on V. Now click on this. This is the sun. This is the sun 1. Now we are going to animate the opacity. Now I made a mistake in the pre-comp. I think I've highlighted something else. Okay, my highlight should have started from here down to here alone. Then I pre-comp this and I name it sun. Now I go into the layer and I have this. So now I'll click on the sun to animate them individually. Now I come to the beginning. I click on sun 1, which is the middle one. I'll click on opacity, that's T on my keyboard. I'll keyframe all of them. I'll keyframe all their opacity down to here. I'll keyframe its their opacities. Then F9. So I move forward. So this down here, I'll give them 0, and down back to 2 seconds, I'll give them 100. So now let's quickly see the animation, graphic animation, what I did from it. So you see the way it's playing out. It's playing out like a direct sunlight. So let me make it more faster. Oh, that's too fast. I think this is okay. Okay, so this should be perfect. Okay, so I prefer this. Now we go back to the comp 1. No, we go back to background. That's where the sun is. So I click on the sun, then I move it to the center of the house. Let's say here. Let's say here is okay. So I move it to the center of the house here. So let's see how it plays out. Now you can see that the sun played once and it stopped. The radiation stopped. Now that's where the formula has to come in, because I would not want to repeat this keyframe. I would not want to repeat it I will not want to repeat it, maybe I don't know, maybe 10 more times or 5 more times. I will not want to do that. So instead I will be having a simple equation here now. So we add our expression here, we add our expression to this layer, then we paste this, then we come here also, we add this expression, and we come here also, you add the expression. Now let's see how it's going to play out to the expression. Let's see how it's going to play out to the expression. So did you notice, hope you can notice that we are having the continuous radiation. We are having the continuous radiation with only three frames. Now let's go to the main background and see how it's affecting the main background. Now can you just see that? Can you see that? So there is this soft continuous radiation on the background, that's on the cloud itself, without excess keyframes. So that's that there. Then let's come here. So the next thing that we should be animating now is our car. Next thing we should be animating now is our car. So we would have to zoom in, because of the tires we want to majorly animate. So we have to zoom in on the tires, that's on the wheels. So now you click on the first tire, that is the back wheel. You add the first keyframe. You use it with F9. You go to the last, then we are giving it a 16 rotation times. Then make it so fast. Yes, 17, okay. So now we come here and copy the same rotation. We copy the same keyframe, then we paste it up here. Now let's see how this plays out. So now that's the tire. The tires are moving already, but not only that. Now let's give the body a little shaky effect. So click on the body, you keyframe the position here, your F9, that's you put an F9 on it, as you use it, then we go to 1 second, move it up a little bit, then you go to 2 seconds, you copy this keyframe and you paste it there. Now we have to add that expression. If not, we'll be having just a one-time movement. It won't go out, it won't go through all the scene. So now we have to copy that expression, we have to put in an expression. So you come to position, then you come here, you go to property, then you go to loop out cycle non keyframe, then we give it 24 keyframes per second. Now you click on this. So let's say it plays out throughout. Can you see now? So we're having that bouncy effect this time around. So as it's moving, it's bouncing, just like a car playing music. So now let's see how it affects our background as a whole. So can you see the car there now? Can you see the car? Now that's that. Now the last but not the least thing for us to animate is the bird. So you click on the bird. Let's save our documents. So here's the bird. The first thing we want to do is we want to animate the wings. So we'll have to put a keyframe here on the wing. So the wing, what keyframe? So we are going to make use of scale. You keyframe here, click on F9, you go to 1 second, then you give it like -70. You can do anything lower than that. So then you go to 2 seconds and you give it, you copy the first keyframe and you paste it there, so it doesn't look uneasy. So now the next thing is the body. The body, you don't need much animation, just like the car, the way the car was. You just give it the little bouncing effect. So you come to the beginning. Here. So let's play it out and see how it looks. So it's very slow, which I wouldn't want. I was not able to click. I don't know why. I'm trying to click on it. It's refusing to click. I don't know why. It's actually probably maybe because the system disk is low or something. So let's reduce it. So that's bare enough. Let's check the main background. Let's say it's React. Okay, so then let's come here. Let's come back to the bird, the body. So we'll give it this bouncy effect. So let's click on position, you keyframe it, ease it, then you go forward here. Okay, so the next keyframe. So it raises up a little bit, then when it comes forward, it returns back to its position. So then we need this to be continuous, so we also have to add our expression like the others. So comes property and we come into loop out, then we need a 24 frame per second. Then also for the wings, let's just copy this and paste here. So now it's the last but not the least thing here is the tail. So because if I'm not able to click it, I will need to manually find where the anchor point is here. Okay, so I think the anchor point is somewhere here. The anchor point is somewhere here. Let's move it blindly. Okay, so I've been able to adjust the anchor points. Now let's move it down here. Let's move the tail down here. So now we'll be making little adjustment also to the tail. So at this point, the tail will be 0 for the rotation. And F9 to ease it. Then we go to the next frame. Then frame should be here. First, let's arrange this tail. It seems to have lost its place. So let's first of all parent the tail to the body and the wing also to the body. So now the tail, after we have given it this position, then we move forward to the next keyframe. Then you give it a rotation here. comes down at this point, to move up to the next keyframe, it goes back up. So you just copy and paste. So that's that and that. Now the next thing we also have to do for we also have to put the keyframe here. So which will be, let's just copy this and paste it here. So now let's see how this plays. So I think it's cool, so cool. So now let's come to the background here and add our finishing touch. Okay, so this played out nice. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to bring our car to align to the road. So now let's see it here. Okay, I think it's nice. Or let's bring it down a little bit. Okay, so I feel it's nice. Now the last but not the least thing is we will have to be moving. We have to make our characters move. For example, the bed should not be stagnant. It should not be on one point. So now let's move the car. So you hit the position key, then you seize it, then you move forward, and the car moves forward. So then last but not the least also is the bird. Position key, you seize it, come to 0, hit the position key, you ease it, and you move to the last keyframe, then the bird flies across the sky, so as to make the scene look more colorful. I can duplicate the bird layer, the bird pump, so I'll adjust this so it doesn't look like they're in the same place. So I'll duplicate this again. And I'll duplicate this also. And the position keyframe. Come here. And change this. This, and I'll change this to this. So now let's see at the same place. So another thing is the seam big, so we reduce their size. So okay, I feel this is okay. Okay, so now this is what our animation looks like. Let's save. So now let's go to our main animation comp and look at what it looks like. So here also we're making use of our camera here also. So we say new comp, new null layer. So camera. Camera, then this is the work our camera will be doing. This is what our camera will be doing now. So I can't actually see the null layer. I don't even know where it is. So it's probably because of the disk space of the system. That's why it's behaving like that. So okay, I'll be parenting the background to the null layer. Let's see wherever it is. So let's keyframe this position here. Use this. We're moving forward with the car. We also move forward here. We also move forward alongside. So now let's see how this plays out. Okay, so feel it's okay. Any changes we want to make to it, we can make it here in the background. So nevertheless, I feel everything plays out good. So if you want to make any changes you think is not looking right, you can make it on your own during your practical period. Now the last or not, we have come to the end of the class. So the final thing we have to do now is to export this video. We need to export this video. So I see a mistake here. Okay. So the final thing we have to do now is to export this video. So we highlight it and click on Ctrl M to export. Then it asks us where we want to export it to. So we say we want to export it to desktop. We say final video DLES 2021. So and that's it. Now we just have to render our video. So wait for it to render. And that's it. So our video is done. Let's look for it on the desktop and we play it. Okay, so this is it here. 15 seconds, 2 gig. 2.8 gig. So an AVI quality file. So that's it, guys, for the class on introduction to graphic design and animation. I hope you have learned one or two things. I know it might look confusing, but trust me, practice, they say, always make perfect. You see this something, you put it in practice. You see this thing, you put it in practice. Time will always tell, and time don't lie. So with time, you get perfect in whatsoever you are doing. No more to build in a day. I didn't start animating also in a day, so it's with time you get perfect. So should in case you want to ask any question, the comment section is open. Look on the flyer, you will see phone numbers. Contact any of the phone numbers. The owners of the phone numbers will reply you. Then there are emails. Write emails. I will check the emails, and any question I see there, I will answer adequately. So I hope you have been blessed through this tutorial. It doesn't stop there. Always make an effort, and the effort is to put it into practice. So you can, that system that you used to play game a lot, it can benefit you more in animating. So watch this space, DLSO logo region. Much more creative videos will be dropping in this space, time to come. So tell a friend to tell a friend. This video, it's not what do you call it, it's not a video to watch and just abandon in a corner of the house. You can, whenever you are practicing and you forget something, you can easily go back to the video and watch again. So turn on click the like button, click the subscribe button, turn on post notifications so that anytime a new video drops, you get notified. So God bless us. KDV Benis. Thank you. Okay, so quick one. I know many of you want to get my contact and you want to contact me directly, so as maybe to clear all possible doubts and ask questions. Maybe you're also interested in animating and what have you. So I'm going to leave my details in the description, or you'll see my details somewhere around here in the video. I'm going to drop it around here now. So please don't try to spam me with messages, unwanted messages and unnecessary messages. So thank you. And if you need anything from me via maybe WhatsApp or something, please just try to be straightforward as possible. So thank you, and I remain Joseph Adebayo, a graphic designer, 2D animator, motion designer, 2.5D animator, and content director at JSPI Studios. Thank you, and you're wonderful.